What's up, everybody? Welcome, episode 27, Brewed Opinions. It's a week after WrestleMania. We've had to decompress a little bit. We didn't want to come hot. So a week later, KT, we even let a Raw and SmackDown get in there. And now we're ready to go. We're going to talk about WrestleMania.
Yeah, let's do a WrestleMania recap since we haven't got to talk about it already.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to come at you hot, but obviously, like everybody across the world, not happy. Probably the
Let
first...
let a little emotion settle down.
Probably the first negative WrestleMania under the Paul Levesque era. There were lots of good things about it, but the ending ruined the whole thing for everybody, I think.
Yeah, although all the fans seem to love him now.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Travis Scott interference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with John Cena winning the belt. I just don't like that it happened that way. But if you guys listen to
the build-up was shit, and WrestleMania was shit for the most part.
I mean, there was a lot of good at a WrestleMania.
There was.
Like, night one, the matches were shit, and the main event was awesome. Night two, the matches were awesome, main event was shit.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of good things. We're going to get into some of it. You know, we're not going to go over the whole card because some of it obviously just ain't worth it, to be honest with you. But if you guys watched our preview show, old KT and JP pretty much predicted the entire show.
Yeah, you nailed it. I was sitting there on Sunday night, like, texting Jay, did we fucking call this whole thing?
I mean, we too bad you can't bet on professional wrestling because we might have been millionaires.
I think
that.
you can, which is a stupid,
which is terrible. But let's get into like what we thought were the highlights of the entire weekend. In my opinion, were both triple threat matches.
Yeah,
the main event on night one and the women's triple threat opening of night two was probably the two highlights of the weekend.
Yeah, I would say so.
Obviously, the biggest storyline coming out of night one main event.
Yeah.
Which we kind of predicted. There was things in that match that made it so good that, you know, I told you this as we were watching it. The look on Rollins' face when he just knows it's about to happen.
Yeah.
And he just is just looking and he sticks out his hand for the chair. Like, those little details are the things that get me big time. And I thought Rollins sold that part so good.
Even like it's just like in the throwback to the Shield ending, it was like it was like the architect. It was his whole vision.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's like to look at it now, you know, like and unfortunately they didn't talk about this for months leading up to WrestleMania. It was kind of like thrown together at the last minute on SmackDown when Seth drops the pipe bomb about 12 years, how they came in as the Shield to CM Punk in the beginning, and then he finally ends it all with the Heyman turn on both of them. It was fucking incredible, dude.
I mean, this story, and now it looks like we've got a version of the old Dangerous Alliance starting from back in the day. Paul Heyman's, you know, if you guys have been wrestling fans for a long time, you know, Paulie Dangerously was Paul Heyman and his Dangerous Alliance with people like Stone Cold and Rick Rude and everybody in that group. We're going to get, I don't know how big this group will be. I mean, there's rumors that Becky Rollins, it probably is Becky Lynch could possibly be the female member of this group. I don't know if that's good or bad or what. But the addition of Braun on Monday Night Raw, I thought this is huge for Braun Breaker. He needs this.
Yes, I love it for Braun Breaker.
Like, I think Braun is going to finally he's going to learn how to, you know, be in the business and be, you know, from Seth Rollins and better yet from Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be great. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be
He's the
called.
perfect enforcer for a faction if this is what it ends up becoming. Like, that's a perfect role for him, just like Batista was with the Evolution, and I mean, just going back in time. Arn Anderson and the Four Horsemen, like, they always have like that one guy who's the badass.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, I don't know if they're going to go the Becky, if they even go female. Like, I know her attack on Lyra Valkyrie on Monday night, you know, she turned heel in a hurry. Like, what do we how big could this group be? And do we keep it simple, or do we make
4
it
members
big?
max? I hate when factions get so big. Like the Judgment Day just got out of control with how many members they kept adding and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever like it. I think it's like the Four Horsemen nailed it perfectly back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a faction of 4 is all you need. So, you add one more element, like I don't know, like, I don't know who it could be.
I mean, Braun's perfect. I mean, Braun really is perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to need, they're going to fit. You got to find that other, I'm going to throw a name out there that I think is lost in the mix, that I think if it's done correctly, he could be a great addition to this group. Ludwig Kaiser.
Oh, yeah. He's the perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect
he's a guy
fucking call.
that has all the potential in the world and just doesn't seem to be getting the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I think he could be the Randy Orton to Seth Rollins' Triple H, to Braun Breaker's Batista. I mean, I think Ludwig Kaiser could be a huge addition.
And if you know from listening to this podcast that we love Ludwig, like we think he is a star.
And I think that he could be a great addition to rounding out this group if it's going to be 4. But to go back to the match itself, highlight of night 1 by far.
The highlight of the whole weekend.
Highlight of the weekend. Everybody was talking about it. The Paul Heyman, it just perfect.
Even the way they did it, like with Paul hitting CM Punk first. You're like, oh, and Roman's got the big smile on his face. He knew that a wise man was going to come through for him. And, he gives him the chair. And then he nails Roman
the look
and gives him an extra. He gave a little extra. It was fucking awesome.
The look on Rollins' face, I think, told the whole story.
Seth back to just perfect.
Just like he knew.
Even Roman going to have that moment on Seth with hitting him in the back with the chair. It was like to win it all. It was like great. Like Paul Heyman obviously had his fingerprints all over that.
And the same thing, Seth did it again on Monday night with what is his amateur hour again? What Seth does it again on Monday night with him and Braun are face to face, and then he just stands up relaxed as Braun goes right by him and spears Punk.
Yeah.
Like it was just like it's his story. And Rollins' little detailed things, like he was never worried about Braun Breaker spearing him. Because he knew.
Because he's a visionary.
And then when he just stood up and like relaxed and Braun ran right by him, he was just like, that's my boy. Yeah. And I was just like, I think Rollins and Heyman have totally sold this with the little details that we always talk about on this show. The details from a seasoned wrestling fan that looks at these things like us, those are the things that you can tell people have plans. Like I think we talked about it in our preview show about, do you think that they had this led up? And it wasn't necessarily about this storyline, or did they just say, oh shit, we're onto something, and then they go with it? But like this, I believe, has been a story that has been done for a while. And Seth and Paul Heyman knock it out of the park. Well, even CM Punk and Roman Reigns has to play their part too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Seth was just laying the seeds, like the whole lead up. Like, I don't know, I guess I wanted more, but I think now looking back, it was like perfect because it kept you in suspense. It kept you like wondering, but there's been bad blood between those 3 for so long. And like Heyman being the one, I mean, even like we talked about Seth wouldn't be not curb stomping Heyman that last Monday night or whatever it was and say, now I have the favor, And it's just like, it was just set up so well, man.
It was. I mean, that storyline, was the match of the weekend by far. Stole the weekend. Kudos to a lot of other things that happened, but that was what people are talking about and what led into Monday Night Raw and what people wanted to see on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And then, we touched on the other triple threat match. The ladies knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it was an awesome match.
I mean, those 3 girls, Rhea, Bianca, and Io Sky continues to show how good she is. The thing with Io Sky is I just wish there wasn't so much of a language barrier, man.
Yeah.
Like, which is really, I mean, just imagine if she didn't have the language barrier, where she would be. I mean, she's a 2-time women's champion with a language barrier. Like, very small character development because she just can't.
Right.
She's dependent on the groups around her to tell her. But I thought Bianca and Rhea did a great job in kind of, I don't want to say carrying the storyline, but they kind of carried the purpose of the match because they were able to dictate what happens, and Io can't.
Yeah.
She can do it in the ring, but she just can't do the mic.
She did very good though with like enforcing herself into it.
Yeah.
Because they kept kind of pushing her to the side, and she kept fighting back every time. So kudos to her. She's big time over.
Yeah, I mean, what she does, I mean, that triple threat match, probably the best women's match I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I still go down to say my greatest women's match I've ever seen was Natalya Charlotte NXT like 15 years ago. That's still the best women's match I've ever seen. But this match was awesome.
Very good.
Yeah. But, you know, Io Sky remains champion, which I like it. I don't know where they go from here. Because, you know, Bianca, Rhea, they're going to get some time off. I don't know what's going to happen there. But leading into the kickoff of WrestleMania was, I think, probably what everybody expected. I had a couple problems we talked about in that match. Mm-hmm. Gunther, Jay winning the belt, which I think everybody wanted, everybody knew was going to happen. The details of the match, I don't think Gunther did Jay any favors by the quick tap.
No.
I don't know if that was. I don't know if that was that's an insider thing. Like Gunther wasn't happy with what was going on,
or maybe they ran out of time.
Because he totally did not sell that better for Jay.
Yeah.
He could have held on to that and then tapped like after 30 seconds, and the crowd. He could have built that crowd up and then the tap.
You think they were short on time and just got it
How
called?
could you be short on time for your championship first match?
Or was he pissed he's losing the belt?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I was in Gunther's position and I was pissed that I was going to lose the belt, the only thing I could do was a no-sell. And he basically no-selled that tap.
Yeah, and then he comes out on Monday night and goes after Cole.
Which they're obviously writing him off TV for a few weeks, and well deserved. I mean, Gunther's been doing a lot since he was the champion, and but I do think that Gunther did not do Jay any favors on that tap.
No,
I mean, I did hear a couple other people talk about it, but I think that they could have really built up that moment for Jay, because it was like even us, we were watching it. We were on the back porch, and that was still daylight out because it was 7:00.
Yeah.
And it was. I even said, "Damn, that was a fast tap."
Yeah,
like,
it was immediate.
Yeah, like it almost took away from that initial jolt of the biggest pops you get when someone wins the belt is that initial 3 count. Mm-hmm. Like, and the place goes nuts. And I honestly don't think the crowd was ready for it to happen right there. No. And he did it so quick where Gunther could have held into that a little bit longer. But then again, is Gunther trying to also put his own maneuver over by saying how devastating it is?
Yeah.
And Jay locked it in, and he tapped right away. There's multiple ways to go. Gunther doesn't seem like the person that's going to have ill will towards somebody like Jay. And I don't think anybody doubts that Jay didn't deserve to win that belt.
Right.
Nobody obviously wants to lose the belt.
Right.
But I don't know. That was a me nitpicking. But I remember I said to you when we were watching it, like, that was quick. That was a quick tap.
It was a very quick tap. It was. I mean, we were both shocked by it. We were just sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? Like, that's how this match ends. And sometimes it goes that way. I mean, I thought it was probably for time, but.
I mean, I think that, like, that's how the match was supposed to end. I just don't. I think it was probably just poorly executed. I bet you both those guys went in the back and even probably thought they didn't execute it very well. I'm sure that's the way it was. I mean, he was supposed to make Gunther tap on his move. Like, right. I'm sure that was supposed to be what was going to happen. But execution-wise, it just wasn't there. And in this business, it's all about timing. Timing is so important.
Yeah.
And he could have held that hold for another 30 seconds and put that crowd at the edge of their seat and then finally tapped, and then the place would have went nuts. Even though they did go nuts. But
or even get out of it, and then Jay gets it on him again, and then he taps because he can't take anymore. Like,
yeah,
there's different things of like building a match and building everything up, and who knows if they got cut short on time. I can't remember how long the match actually was.
We're nitpicking here. I mean, Jay won. It was awesome, but there's things that you can look back on, you Monday morning quarterback, and just be like, this is what it is. There's a lot of good things that came out of WrestleMania. A lot of big moments, a lot of new champions.
Yep.
One big, we'll get into the big one. I think it's probably the most underperforming WrestleMania main event that I've seen in a very long time. I can't imagine that Paul Levesque, Triple H is happy with the way that
because you have a part-time asshole.
I mean, it's not only that. Like, are you going to let... why is Travis Scott involved in the biggest title in your company, and you're going to let him do some bullshit thing for John Cena to win? The Rock no-shows. I mean, and after hearing the explanation of why The Rock wasn't there, okay, I get it. He was on McAfee the next day, and he was... I mean, it is correct. The final boss didn't need to be there anymore.
No.
And then to come to find out why the final boss was even there to begin with, when he states that, I mean, he probably shouldn't be saying this to the world, but when the owner or the CEO of TKO calls him because ticket sales aren't good for Elimination Chamber, and then they write that angle, and he's going to be at Elimination Chamber, I mean, that's pretty shitty for the city of Toronto. And, like, I don't know. I just don't like... I'm old school. I don't like knowing all this.
Yeah. It's a different world in wrestling right now because there's so much, and they're having to navigate it. And I kind of see how they're doing things, like connecting shows. Like the McAfee show is a big part of it because he's such a big part of WWE. That the fact that The Rock goes on that show to explain his...
Yeah.
But it's all streaming now,
Heyman
and it's all
too.
crossover. Heyman's on there. Heyman plays a big heel role on McAfee that day, talking shit to the people in the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, he was going after ESPN and the whole Shannon Sharp thing. And, like, I mean, even McAfee looked uncomfortable, and he doesn't usually give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, it went hard, man.
It's a different world that we're living in, and I think that it's part of the problem, even with people turning heel. Like, Cena's getting cheered because people wanted him to be heel.
Right.
So they're cheering him to being heel. And he's coming out and he's saying all these things. I'm going to ruin wrestling. And by God, he's ruining wrestling for me. He's doing exactly what he said he's doing. And you're going to hate him even more. And, like, the world of streaming, the world of social media, the world of podcasts, the world of all this stuff has truly changed wrestling. Kayfabe is gone. And now WWE, I don't know if you saw this, but WWE is going to pull back the curtain even more and have this all-access reality show on Netflix. Like, they're going to pull it back to the writer's room.
I think this is all part of the master plan, though. I think with Cena saying the wrestling of yesteryear is gone, and he's the last champ of it, I get the overarching thing
you're
now.
Okay with him?
And I'm not okay with it. I think it's bullshit. But in today's day and age, like we're just talking about, where kayfabe was so important back in the day, now because they can go across all these different platforms and Netflix is so big and everything that's going on, they have to work with, like, is it a work or a shoot? And it has to be done across all these different platforms.
Yeah.
That, like, peeling back the curtains, like, yeah, you think you're getting the truth, but it's all a work, right?
Yeah.
It's all a fucking work, and it's amazing. Like, I realized this the other night, and I'm just like, kudos. Like, they're finding a way to do it, and we just have to
adapt.
We have
adapt
to alter our we have to alter our way of thinking.
And that's why, like, all these things, when people turn heel and stuff and they're getting cheered, it's because it's the people are getting what they want. It's not they're cheering the individual, they're cheering the situation. And I think that's why Cena is getting these cheers and Cody was getting the boos, because the same thing that I've always said, people are tired of the same old Cody.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't like him. It's just they're booed with the situation. They're done with the situation. And it's nothing to do with Cody. But Cody probably needs to be off TV for a minute.
Yeah.
and he may have to come back and reinvent himself again.
You might not see Cody till after Backlash. Because now
there's no need for him to be anywhere. He should be off for a while. It didn't take any time. I don't want to leave WrestleMania too quick, but we're talking about the important points of WrestleMania. But Monday Night Raw, they didn't waste any time with setting up their main event for Backlash.
Right.
But I think that was a foregone conclusion. They had already teased Randy Orton on the Backlash posters. It's his hometown. Like you told me earlier, is this going to be a retirement tour for Cena?
Yeah, all the old timers are going to come out of nowhere. Not that I'm calling Randy an old timer, but you're just. I can see an avenue where all these past champions come out of the woodworks because it's the dying end of an era.
Yeah,
which is fucking stupid, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was a great spot and RKO out of nowhere, and it makes sense. Is it a thrown together story? Of course it is.
Right.
So then what happens after Backlash? Whose hometown are we going to next?
Right.
I'm not. I don't like that whole story. I don't like the fact that I don't know what we're doing. Cena's got what he made it very clear: 27 dates left. In his promo.
End of the year. That's it.
And do we every time we go to someone's hometown? SmackDown, we had the TLC tag match. Why that was not on WrestleMania, I have no idea.
Yeah, that was an amazing match.
It was an amazing match. And why are you not... Here it goes back to my conversation. Why are we not defending titles at our biggest show?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a whole new wave of coming. I think a buddy of mine even said that, I didn't see it, but I guess there was a trailer for WrestleMania where H even says this is a new beginning in wrestling, and with Cena constantly saying, I'm ending the way wrestling is as we know it. I don't know. I guess it's exciting. It's exciting to see what's going to be coming forth from it all, but I don't know what the hell they're going to be doing.
I saw this. I was watching SmackDown, and Jacob Fatu had his match with Damian and LA Knight. And I thought there was a little Easter egg there. And I could be totally thinking way too much into this. But he was wearing a Raiders jersey with the number 42 on it. Are they trying to tell us that Jacob Fatu is going to win the belt at WrestleMania 42?
Oh.
It was a very interesting thing, and it dawned on me, and I was like, he's wearing a Raiders jersey, and it says his Fatu, and it says 42 on it. Are we going to see a bloodline story of Jay and Jacob?
Maybe.
I don't know. That was me really digging deep. But I said, why is he wearing a Raiders jersey?
Everything's done with a purpose.
Yeah, and then he's wearing. It may mean nothing now, but in 10 months when they're telling the WrestleMania story and they go back and show footage of the SmackDown after WrestleMania, and he had a 42 jersey on.
Yeah, because guess what? The new season started Monday night.
Yeah. And we had a lot of returns. We finally had the return of Aleister Black, the much anticipated.
Excited to see him back.
And Rusev.
Happy
Rusev Day back. Apparently Lana's back too.
Really?
She didn't show up, but apparently she's under contract again too. So I don't know if they're bringing that whole thing back.
Yeah.
But there was, one of the biggest wins of the weekend of WrestleMania, which I think everybody loved it, and goes to show why are we cheering heels. Dirty Dom wins the IC belt.
Yeah, that was
one of the biggest pops of the night.
And that was
next to someone else that I will talk about in a minute.
That was a great match too.
That was well done. Right up until the frog splash where he got Finn did the coup de grace, and I think all roads are pointing to a Dirty Dom Finn program.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to kick the curb on this, kick it to the curb, this Judgment Day storyline, or are they going to try to run with it with just Dirty Dom? But you can tell even on Monday night where, Finn said what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but as the camera peeled, he was staring at the IC belt. Obviously, this is not the end of this.
No, and I think Finn and Dom could be a great Great little.
Yeah, Dirty Dom is. I'm so glad that he won. His work over the last 2 years, I mean, has to pay off. And you could tell that he is really liked backstage. His heel work has been absolutely phenomenal. And I think that he could be an amazing face too.
Fucking Cena said it. He was on McAfee on Monday after WrestleMania, and they asked him about Dom, and he went full praise on Dominic Mysterio and how he's the future.
What he's done has been phenomenal, and
he got over in that match, man.
Yeah,
I mean for a guy who's been hated. The fans have given him nothing but shit because he plays into it so well. And then when he's about to win, the fucking place is going nuts. I was going nuts, and I hate
Allegiant Stadium popped when he won, and it was awesome. And I mean, and he embraced it too. That's a huge moment.
Didn't he come back out and get in the ring?
He did it again, and it was awesome. That was one of my highlights of the whole weekend was Dominic Mysterio winning the IC belt.
Yeah, really the Heyman turn, Dirty Dom winning was awesome, and I was texting
Travis Scott.
Yeah, fuck that. Because his theme song was the theme of WrestleMania. We'll get into that whole fucking thing. We'll keep doing the build up to the main event on Sunday night. But what was another highlight was Randy Orton's match, and we didn't know who was going to show up.
I want to talk about the biggest pops of the weekend. And this is now the second pay-per-view that this guy has got an unbelievable pop. Joe Hendry, dude, he's unbelievable. This guy's so over across the world.
Yeah.
And when he came, you could even see Randy Orton standing in the ring being like, okay.
TNA's got to be like, fuck. Because their best guy is going to be on WWE sooner than later. Yeah. Because you don't get a pop like he got at Royal Rumble, right? That's when he first debuted. Yep. I mean, I know he's been on NXT.
He's been on before, but that was the most recent one.
Yeah.
And then his thing.
And then the open challenge, and everybody's wondering. And right before I'm texting Jay. I'm like, I think Henry's going to show up. I think it's going to be him. Say his name and he'll appear.
Yeah.
Fucking he appears. Place goes nuts. He has a great spot. Gets over on Randy a little bit. And as he does his famous turnaround with the smile and everything, Randy RKO's his ass out of nowhere. It was fucking one of the best RKOs I've ever seen. That dude came from this turnbuckle and flew and caught that bitch. Camera work was perfect. Yep. They knew they had to be zoomed in on Joe Hendry, and RKO just out of nowhere. It was
and then Randy
phenomenal.
Orton does the turnaround and everything, and it was Hendry is so far over, it's not even funny.
And good on Randy for putting him over and letting him get put over in that moment on WrestleMania.
Take notes, John Cena.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to get into it.
I don't even want to get into it, but I guess we do. But yeah, that was a highlight of the night, and then leading into Randy on Monday night, going to be holding the feud with Cena, which we all know that Randy Orton's not going to win the belt off of Cena. That's what I'm struggling with right now with stories is they put these matches together where that there's no chance that one guy is going to win.
Right. That's more just filler for right now.
Backlash typically is.
The next big one is SummerSlam. So they got 3 months to build to SummerSlam.
Money in the Bank might be. Money in the Bank's kind of big.
Money in the Bank's big, but I'm talking about
there's
only a couple
that are. It's going to be
a
two-nighter. SummerSlam's a two-nighter.
Things happen at SummerSlam, is what I'm saying. Money in the Bank's more about winning those Money in the Bank's more about those briefcases than it is about the championship. Yeah. Cena might not even. Cena probably won't even defend it at Money in the Bank.
SummerSlam was when Roman came back last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Roman's actually been on TV for some consecutive weeks now. Yeah. He was there Monday night. He took the stuff.
Well, Seth called him out when he did his own version of the pipe bomb, which we haven't gotten to talk about. That was fucking so good.
There's like we talked about in the preview show that we're in a reset situation where they have to start over. Not start over, but typically you're writing for WrestleMania, and then it
I bet
goes
you're just so excited for the draft, right? It's got to be coming, right?
Honestly, I haven't heard him say anything about the draft.
Maybe it's finally gone,
and it's usually around the NFL draft.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just quietly just ditching it aside and not doing it because it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
So then there's really no rosters anymore. Then right?
I mean, you can still keep them on one show,
right?
But you don't have to announce it and talk about free agents. Come on, like come on. It's the dumbest thing that they've ever done.
I just had to throw that in. I just had to get you going on.
And for them to continually do it, it's like, how stupid is that?
H probably was like, this is a Vince thing. We're fucking done with the draft.
Yeah. But I mean, after WrestleMania.
They haven't talked about it, so I don't think it's going to happen.
After WrestleMania, like, this is the first time I think there's been a negative light on Triple H and what their conclusion was in WrestleMania.
Well, I think a lot of people like us were not happy with the build-up. Because I don't think anybody can look at the build-up to WrestleMania and say it was great. We thought we were going to get something when Cena turned. Amazing. Then Rock no shows for 2 months. I mean, Cena's barely participating. He's showing up here and there. A lot of the other matches wasn't a lot of great build-up.
Tell me how you really feel about John Cena, man.
Well, we're going to get to that.
No, we're here. We're here.
There's still some stuff on WrestleMania we got to talk about, right?
Is there?
Yeah.
I mean, KT has gone off on John Cena on me several occasions, and he's being quiet on the podcast, but...
Yeah. I'm still collecting my thoughts. I'll get there.
No, it is what it is. I mean, you've said it in this episode right now what's happening with John Cena. Like, he's representing the last champion of the era that we might be kissing goodbye.
I think Cena's doing really good heel work. Like, amazing heel work. You wouldn't expect anything less of it. And it's pissing me off, so kudos, he's doing his job. Because I look at Cena and I guess I don't like the whole fucking angle of it. But I get it. I guess I get it. I don't really know. I don't know what to think about it all.
I think that's the tough part. Nobody knows what to think of it.
And like we were just talking about, when I said like the retirement tour, like, okay, are you really going to parade this bullshit out? Like, I think Randy Orton and him are going to... You really think that match is going to be awesome?
But no, because Cena can't bring it anymore.
Is Mr. Hogan going to come out and fight him at SummerSlam? Like, is fucking... Stone Cold can't wrestle. I'm sure he'd be the next one in line. Like,
Stone Cold almost killed somebody on Sunday night with his ATV, so...
Yeah. But I don't know what we're going to... I don't know. I guess that's what it is. I just don't know what to even fucking say about it.
You don't know where it's going to go from here.
No,
just where the end game is.
Yeah.
Or do they really let Cena retire with the belt and then they create a new one?
What are we doing?
It's all about money now, dude.
Oh yeah, they've definitely sold
their
souls.
ring apron is covered.
I guess The Rock said it best. He wants all their souls, right? Cody wouldn't sell it. Okay, let's get into it. So you fucking
there we go.
You fucking take Cody Rhodes, and you do an amazing 2-year run of him to just finally...
And you throw it away in 30 seconds.
You throw it away in 30 seconds. It's such a fucking disgraceful act to Cody for what he's done for that company. And I know it's all a work, and I know it's going to be paid off down the line. But to weaken Cody Rhodes...
Travis Scott gets 30 million views on everything he does online.
Who gives a flying fuck about Travis Scott?
That's what they care about. Viral.
I know, because that's the new fucking way we're going. But
that's the only... Why do you think Logan Paul is involved? Why do you think Logan Paul beat AJ Styles? It's viral videos. That's what makes money.
Yeah, but at least Logan Paul is a legit fucking member of the company.
Is the only reason Logan Paul is involved with wrestling is because WWE wants to capitalize on his popularity on YouTube.
Let's speak of Logan Paul. He fucking did that drone thing was cool.
That's gonna get me into the whole carry and kill.
Okay, so let's stay where we're at. Cody Rhodes Fucking, you bury Cody.
Because I have a fucking rant to go on too.
On WrestleMania, the biggest stage, and you let him drop the belt to Cena in that way. That's the shit that doesn't make sense. And maybe that's what the goal was, is to piss people off. Apparently it didn't piss the fans off, because the fans were fucking cheering for Cena and booing Cody. Now, this is the problem that happens with their way of doing things, to where, yes, I agree, Cody was starting to get stale. But you give him this moment where he starts building against Cena, and Cody's doing great work again. And now we're probably not going to see Cody for a while. Is he going to be the match at SummerSlam? Who knows? But Cody had to carry that match because Cena can't keep up with him. That the truth is about Cena can't wrestle. It's true. It's why
I'm listening.
It's why the fans have always fucking booed him to begin with. And he's always had this like back and forth thing.
It's a toxic relationship, Kenny.
What is?
The fans and John Cena. That's what he says.
Yeah, he's breaking up with them. But then now they love him. What is that? That's the whole thing.
He is basically doing everything that you want him to do. He has come out and said, "I am going to ruin wrestling."
Yeah.
And guess what he's doing?
He's ruining wrestling.
For you, he's ruining it.
He's ruining wrestling for me.
Yeah.
Take the belt. I'm going to go home. This is it. This is it. He's doing great work.
He's got you fired up, man.
He does have me fired up. I'm a huge Cody fan. And I don't mind Cody dropping the belt. I figured Cena was going to win. They're doing what they're supposed to do, because I fucking hate it.
You can tell that the WWE is purely interested in YouTube views, viral videos, streaming. To go back to Logan Paul, the only reason...
And it's
Logan
brilliant
Paul,
that they are. Just like when they took over cable a long time ago, and everyone told Vince he's stupid.
They want clicks. They want views. They could give two shits how many people watch Raw. They want those seconds. Why do you think in the Royal Rumble they had Speed get freaking speared by Braun Breaker? That thing got watched by freaking 50 million people.
Of untapped viewership.
Because
all the young people that don't watch.
That kid has his following. Logan Paul revolutionized YouTube videos to where it is today. He was the first. Him and Mr. Beast. These guys are huge. This is what they are interested in. And this is why, this brings me to my rant, to someone that I have spoke about on this show, that obviously he went off after the show. Obviously it was all scripted, because if he really did go off like that, do you think he would be on Raw the next night? No. He comes back. Karrion Kross is, in my opinion, has the biggest upside that you could ever have. And he is not getting his opportunity. He went off on that in that interview, that post-show, about, he's even calling AJ Allen. And talking about how can he lose to Logan. He called him the best of us. You're the best of us, and you lost that match. I think this is setting up an obvious Karrion Kross AJ situation. But Karrion Kross, and he even referred to himself as Killer Kross. So that's how pissed off he was in that promo. Because I think even if that was a work or a shoot, there was a lot of emotion in that. And he is a Las Vegas boy. He's a hometown Las Vegas guy, was not on the card. He's
basically, what the hell am I doing here?
He goes, and the work that he's done. But that rant that he went on, I just think that this guy has got so much potential. He's got the look. He's got the mic skills. He's got the vision. Maybe he's the fourth guy in the new Dangerous Alliance. I don't know.
I've seen some people talk about
that. But he could be someone. He's proven himself so many times. Like, he was fired from WWE, goes out, and then gets rehired. And, that's why he was just like, fuck this, Killer Kross. He referred to himself as Killer Kross, which is an old TNA character of his. And Karrion Kross is some bullshit Vince name that he came up with. Obviously, it's a play on carry on the cross. It's stupid. Let this do. And the New Testament, the Final Testament, was phenomenal. And then everything happened with the Wyatt Six and destroyed it. And now everybody in the Final Testament except him has been released from the company. So it's like, this guy, I mean, you have all this potential and we're doing stupid shit. Doing stupid shit with Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit? Just because his songs get 30 million views on YouTube? If I hear fucking Fiend one more time, I'm going to fiend in my fucking shorts, man. Like, I can't even... That they did a great job because that song is stuck in all of our heads from every WrestleMania promo that we watched. And the funny thing is I listened to Busted Open on Monday, and you know, I don't know how much everybody listens to Busted Open, but the old Baron Corbin is now a guest host on there with Nick Nemeth and Tommy Dreamer, Bully, Dave LaGreca, Mark Henry, the whole crew. And he said it great. He goes, he said, am I old? But I've never heard of a Travis Scott song ever in my life. And I'm the same way. Like, I've never heard about who Travis Scott is. I mean, I know he's a rapper, but up until the Fiend song on WrestleMania, who is fucking Travis Scott? I don't know.
He's huge.
He is obviously huge. I don't know. I just think that we're too worried about viral moments.
Stick to the basics.
Yeah. But then Karrion Kross created a viral moment.
Yeah. You sent me that what was he on, like a separate podcast or something?
It was a post-Raw show.
Was it WWE affiliated?
I think it was. I can't remember. I think it was Sam Robert. I don't remember who was. I think it's the post-Raw talk or whatever.
You know if it was a work, like his wife, that's his wife, right?
Yeah.
Her, like, even, like, she's, like, all into it, and then even she gets all big-eyed when he went off and he was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, shit, we're going to be fired. Like, it probably, like you said, is definitely a
because,
work.
I mean, if H
isn't going to take that shit lying down.
Yeah, and he was right on the next show.
And here's the beauty of it all, Jay. We don't know what's a work or a shoot anymore. Like, they've gotten back to kayfabe because with all this, with them crossing over to so many different platforms now, which I think is the way they're going, like, it's awesome. If they're going to live in this world where everybody has information on their phone in a second, just like everything else, like, they have to play into it.
I mean, I remember, I guess, 25 years ago, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, if you wanted inside information, you'd have to search and read the dirt sheets online. I remember I used to go to a website and you could read, oh man, who's coming, who's going, and that was all you got. Like and half of it was exact dirt sheets. They were not real, some were real, whatever. And now with everything, with these people are recorded all the time, in and out of the ring. You know, I remember there was a video of Kevin Owens showing Randy Orton his new car, and they were in the middle of a massive feud.
Yeah,
and it was just like, but I think. I personally, you know, someone in their 40s, like, I can separate the two. Like, I like to see what these guys and girls are in their real life, like who they are. And I understand when they go on camera that their character. Younger people may not see it the same way. That's why, you know, you listen to these old timers, The Undertaker and even Hulk Hogan and these guys that were Ric Flair, they lived their character's life. They were in character all the time because they had to be. Like, it was devastating if they were caught riding in a car together to the next city, having a beer together at a bar. Like, it was just unheard of. You weren't allowed to do it. Like, that's how character protection was so huge back in the day. Now, with the world of social media, Kevin Owens is showing Randy Orton his brand new car that he just bought.
Right.
And they're in the middle of Kevin Owens just DDT'd him or pile drived him and broke his neck.
And full circle, this is why Cena's ruining it. He's protecting that, what we were just talking about. He's protecting the era that we grew up in and all those champs, because he was saying that on McAfee on Monday, like, I'm standing up for the generation before me and all that. This new way of wrestling, go ahead and have it. But he's ending the chapter, and that's what this whole tour is.
Now he's fine with it.
Oh, no, I'm not over it. Because these fucking people cheer him now because they hated him through his entire run, because there's always that theory that he was burying all the different talent that was coming up, that Cena was the constant barrier. And here we are with a whole new wave of all these amazing superstars that are on the roster, like Karrion Kross, like all these all these other people who, like, I think his wife even said, between the two of them, they had over 20, 30 years of experience doing professional wrestling from the grassroots all the way up to making it to WWE. And they're not even on the fucking card. Some viral guy like Logan Paul, even though Logan's a part of the business, but then the Travis Scott thing. So now Cena's burying all these other guys again, but now we're cheering it. Kudos, cheer and boo for whatever you like. I don't give a shit, but I just think it's hysterical. I think it's fucking hysterical that when he finally wants to be the bad guy, now they're cheering him. I guess it's the beauty of John Cena.
Yeah.
Like, they will always go counter to what he is at that moment in time. Like, he is trying to tell you, fuck you, yeah. I hate you, you are not good for me. And now we're like, woo, Cena, we love you, we've always loved you, come back. Now they're the brokenhearted ones because Cena doesn't like them and doesn't need them.
I mean, look at what happened with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns we were force-fed Roman Reigns for so long, and the fans constantly rejected him.
Yeah.
And then finally, the bloodline story and the tribal chief story ended up being organically created into what became one of the biggest...
And the fact that he navigated it all through COVID was huge.
And the biggest storyline in our recent history is the bloodline saga. I mean, we can say what we will, but
attached to Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, the bloodline saga was... But I mean, the bloodline existed before Cody came back. It was... The bloodline saga is going to go down as one of the biggest storylines in the history of professional wrestling. I mean, we've talked about it. And it took that persona that the fans truly wanted to finally get behind Roman Reigns. When he was being force-fed down our throat as the golden boy, nobody wanted that.
No.
Nobody wanted that. Until he got cancer. And then everybody had the soft spot for him. And then when he came back, he started to get the cheers. And then Paul Heyman stepped in, and then the bloodline.
He also developed a lot as far as being
now he's everything we wanted him to be. That I don't know if Vince thought he was what he is now back then, because he wasn't. But now he's.
So where do we go with Roman now? Because Roman's always had to have people around him.
Well, I think...
And this is a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Backlash, you're probably setting up for a CM Punk Roman versus Seth and Braun. I think that's kind of what you have to do.
Right, okay.
And then maybe that's a progression in the next step of this Dangerous Alliance. Or I know it can't be called the Dangerous Alliance, but that's what I'm calling it right now until they name it. But...
But where's Roman go, man? Like, honestly,
well, no, I mean, right now, typically Roman's not around after WrestleMania, so this is a big thing.
Right.
So I think that this kind of leads into my next question. Is where do we go from here, and what does the next year of wrestling look like?
Right.
But I think that your immediate Backlash event has to be Seth and Braun versus CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And then whatever happens with this new alliance, if there's someone else gets added to it and then it goes off and running, I can see CM Punk and Roman being off TV for a minute. Because I think Seth, that story is going to kind of carry the show on Monday nights, in my opinion.
Well, at some point, Seth's going to be going for a belt.
Yeah.
He's going to have to. Yeah. He's the biggest thing in wrestling right now because of...
Maybe after Backlash, maybe Seth sets his sights on Jay.
Jay, not John? Oh, yeah, he's not a part of the retirement tour.
Yeah. John, well, they're different shows. Well, whatever, the draft's coming. So. But, so let's just make some, let's kind of end this episode. I mean, you can obviously tell our frustrations in WrestleMania. I think everybody that's going to watch this had
overall it was a good event.
Overall,
entertaining.
75% of the show was excellent. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was great moments,
good matches.
We already talked about in the preview show how disappointed we were with some belts not being defended. The TLC match on SmackDown, or was it TLC and leg? There was a prosthetic leg used as a weapon from the Street Profits. Montez Ford grabbed his prosthetic leg from somebody in the crowd and hit him. But that was a great match. That match deserved to be on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green losing her title. At least the title was defended. You have the Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyrie win the title and then immediately lose it on Monday Night Raw, and Becky Lynch snaps on Lyra. Okay. You're totally slapping in the face of these belts that you created. Why are they not being defended? Mm-hmm. And that's a whole other story. But KT, let's take these last few minutes and let's talk about where we see the next 365 days. WrestleMania 42. These are bold predictions, but where does the industry go from here? Who are going to be the champion? Do we still have the same champions? And how big does this new group of Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman become? What could you see down the road? Maybe not as far as WrestleMania, but I already threw a crazy prediction out there of Jacob Fatu with the 42 jersey. I mean, that's just me digging deep. Hopefully, maybe we can look back in a year from now and be like, wow, let's look back at episode 27 and talk about it. But what do you see, KT, as a WrestleMania 42 main event?
I don't even know. Casino.
Travis Scott versus Cody Rhodes?
Yeah. Fucking A. I don't know. Cena's taking the belt and going home December 31st, apparently, right?
John Cena will not. There's one thing for sure. John Cena will not be at next year's WrestleMania.
He's taking his belt and going home.
So in the next year, do we see just one belt? Do we see some kind of tournament situation to create a new belt? Or does Cena... Do they play that up and then Cena loses it on the last night? That could also be a storyline. His whole story is, I'm taking this belt and going home. Yeah. And you want to talk about an epic payoff. Cody wins that belt and doesn't let Cena take it home.
Right. Oh, I think that's going to happen at some point this year. Cody's getting the belt back.
I mean, I don't know what I know Cena in his promo the other night talked about 27 dates, and I don't know what his last night is. I don't know if that's officially been announced, what his actual last match is. Where it's going to be.
He said the end of this year, so December 31st.
And he said it great. He's like, it's 27 dates, not 27 matches. He goes, I don't even have to wrestle. And that's, he's, as much as he hates it, it's good. It's good.
It's doing great. But, like I said, I guarantee you he won't even defend the belt at most of PLEs.
I'm actually surprised he's defending it at Backlash already.
It'll be Backlash, then probably SummerSlam, then Survivor
And depending
Series.
on ticket sales, maybe The Rock will show up.
Get the fuck out of here.
If there's bad ticket sales, they'll call The Rock.
And this, we'll save it for another time, but...
No, don't save it. Come on, it's bad to keep it inside, Kenny.
Well, the whole thing, if you're going to play this shit with streaming, then why didn't The Rock just come out from the get-go and be like, I'm not going to fucking be a part of this thing? The fact that he has to come out the day after.
Yeah, because of the backlash that they caught. No pun intended.
Yeah. Well, fucking get in front of it. Be smart. The whole build-up of that whole fucking match and The Rock saying, now I'm going to stay out of it. You were the catalyst of all of it, and that now, no, hands off. I'm just a smart CEO sitting in the back.
The final boss's work is done.
The final boss, yeah. I came for souls. That's the only thing I'm interested in, is coming for souls. Well, whose soul do you have? Because you didn't get Cody's.
He's got Cena and Travis Scott's soul.
He doesn't have Cena. Cena's not working with him.
He's got Travis Scott's soul.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a flying fuck, dude?
But that's a good thing to think about, though. Cena's not going to be at WrestleMania next year. So do we build this? I'm going to take my belt home, and on the last night, Cody wins it back. It could be good. If it's told right.
Cena and Cody should have a whole year program. It really should. Yeah. When Cody finally comes back, he's going to come back. I hope he comes back as a heel.
Well, he could come back at Backlash.
Because Cena's a face now again.
It's supposed to be...
Cena's a face again.
It's supposed to be called WrestleMania Backlash. So he could come at Backlash, and I don't know. Maybe he joins Cena.
Well, he's boys with Randy.
Yep, but Randy's not going to win the belt.
Oh, I know he's not going to win the belt.
It could be a no contest, and Cena retains the belt.
But if Cody just comes back and beats the piss out of Cena, disqualification, Cena wins.
He hasn't beaten the piss out of Cena yet. But Cena did. Cena bloodied him in the ring with a Rolex.
So you know it's the payback's coming.
So okay. So that being said, I'm really lost on where we go with Jay, because we just talked about it before.
Then I guess that's the belt Rollins will be going for.
I mean, yeah, but Rollins has got to finish what he's got going on with Punk and.
Do they build the
Roman?
That'll happen at Backlash. So Jay will probably have some stupid shit in between. But Rollins is going to have to go for that belt. And what a great way, like we were just talking about, to tie the bloodline back into it, is that Rollins takes the belt from Jay. This new group runs ape shit all over Raw every week, controls that whole fucking thing. And old Jay has to go call in the family to come back and help him.
And then the bloodline is a face.
Yeah.
And then
Roman comes back.
You set up Jacob Fatu to win.
And then it creates the family dynamics again on who's really in charge.
And Jacob Fatu wins the belt at WrestleMania 42.
Could be.
I mean,
there's our prediction. We just got to it.
So like the thing with Jay, like,
and we've also teased before about Jay and Roman.
I like the Kumbaya moment with Sami Zayn the other night.
But boy, I wish he would have dropped him.
It would have been nice if he would have just, after the hug.
And maybe they're setting that up.
I don't know.
Sammy's going to need something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why Sami wasn't on WrestleMania to begin with.
Sammy probably just needed time off, man.
Yeah. But there's a lot of, I mean, we got new people back. Rusev is back.
Like you said, reading those dirt sheets, probably Sammy was in the hospital with Kevin Owens holding his hand during his surgery.
Alistair Black is, back. It was a good weekend. Vegas was a great host. I mean, they should have that there. I mean, the Hall of Fame ceremony was great. Triple H's Hall of Fame speech, it was an hour long, but it was awesome. I mean, if you've been a Triple H fan your whole life, like, his story from he went in chronological order from the beginning of his career all the way up until the end, even talking about Vince. I mean, even saying, it's a complicated situation because he's the grandfather to my daughters. And I mean, and he just left it as it's a complicated situation. But without Vince, Triple H isn't who he is. I mean, let alone a wrestler, let alone running the company.
Right.
But I thought the Hall of Fame night is always a nice night. I mean, getting to see old earthquake and natural disasters get in. Unfortunately, Ottman's the only one that's still alive. But it was a great moment, reliving the Bret Hart Stone Cold iconic match. I mean, possibly we might see that triple threat from Saturday night as a WrestleMania iconic match moving forward too.
Yeah.
And you got to put up Cody and Roman from last year as being an iconic WrestleMania match as well. And then obviously, I mean, we could go, this is a whole different podcast, WrestleMania iconic. I mean, Shawn Michaels Diesel ladder match, I mean, at Caesar's Palace was also a good one too.
Write that one down for the next
episode. We're going to do a top 10 episodes of WrestleMania matches. But, we're past, WrestleMania is the Super Bowl for this industry. We're into the new season.
That's why we get so passionate.
Yeah, and we're excited for it. This whole show is dedicated around wrestling and be all, end all. We talk about everything, but WWE is what drives the world. And when it comes to wrestling, we can talk about all the other shows out there, but it's WWE, and that's why we're passionate about it. And you can see, we predicted the WrestleMania card almost to a T. Even I was surprised at how close we were on some things.
I know.
But when you're in it every week and you're talking about it, and you've been a fan for 30-something years, you can see the writing on the wall before it happens. But like we talked about in this episode, KT, like the wrestling industry is different.
Yep.
And they're finding ways to navigate through. And I don't think the fans have caught up to that.
No.
The fans aren't ready for that.
Obviously, we're having a problem with it.
Yeah. I mean,
not having a problem.
I mean, people are cheering John Cena, not because of what he's doing. It's because they're so happy that he's a full heel now. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. they're not cheering his actions. They're cheering that the fact that he's a heel. And that's what's making everybody happy. And that's what is tough to navigate around now for the writers, is because the fans are cheering the situation, not the action. Mm-hmm. And that's why you had a massive alliance and heel turn in Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, and the place was going nuts because it's what everybody wants. They want something different.
Yeah.
They want belts to change. They want stories to be told. And I thought Seth Rollins, MVP of the weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah, Seth is the man.
Just his actions, his body language, his facial expressions. Like, I already knew this was going to happen. Yeah. I think when he stood up in a relaxed manner and Braun Breaker ran by him and speared Punk, I was like, that's perfect. Mm-hmm. Absolutely perfect.
The architect, man. Yep. Enough said.
Enough said.
Year of Rollins. I bet you we're going to get that.
Is that your prediction? Mm-hmm. Jacob Fatu versus Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 42. Main event.
Awesome. Bloodline
versus whatever this alliance is going to be called.
Yep.
He can't call it Dangerous Alliance. It's already existed.
And it can't be a short run. It has to be
it has to be like 2 more members, and they have to run it.
Yep. Let's go Ludwig.
Ludwig Kaiser, Killer Cross.
Yeah, there it is.
You want to talk about 2 guys that could really benefit from Paul Heyman. Braun Breaker being one of them. Braun's going to come out of this smelling like a rose, man.
Yep.
He's going to be a Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome.
Here's
exciting
another
stuff.
Here's another prediction. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Breaker, WrestleMania 42.
There we go.
Yeah. I might actually sign up for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, Brock.
I don't even know where WrestleMania 42 is. I know that here, being in Central Florida, Central Florida Tourism Authority just came to an agreement with the city of Orlando for a SummerSlam, a WrestleMania, and 3 massive events.
Really?
I don't know what years, but it's coming. So WrestleMania coming back to Orlando.
Nice.
Yeah.
We were at the last one.
Yeah, we were at
long time ago.
So the Orlando is a big partner of WWE with the Performance Center down here, and now Full Sail University, where NXT is.
Most of the guys, most people live here.
Yeah, a lot of people live in the Tampa area. But and also Tampa is going to be hosting a whole weekend of events coming up with pay-per-view, Saturday Night Main Event, a whole Raw, SmackDown, everything coming in May.
What happened to Saturday Night Main Event? It was such a big deal.
It's there's going to be in May in Tampa.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, they just, I think they have to be strategic on where they put them, because you don't want to saturate it, but you want to make them meaningful.
Right.
And you don't want to screw up your PLEs, because if you have too much,
right,
and then it's screwed up.
True.
But guys, thanks for hanging with us again. Episode 27 in the books, WrestleMania recap. Next couple weeks, we're going to try to get some of the PWR guys in here. We've already talked to Shane the Champ. Going to have him in here, talk some PWR wrestling. Ironside, talk about PWR. Yeah. And speaking of alliances, his alliance with the Dynasty. And maybe a part 2 of a little guy named Forrest Nystrom. Hear his reactions. He was texting with me all through WrestleMania. He's got some interesting takes on, and I think according to everybody's comments and views, that was a popular episode. So we need to have Forrest back in here. He's a good dude, and he's in the kind of a midst of a little face turn himself.
Yeah.
Whether he likes it or not.
That's right.
But they're in a little break right now, PWR Wrestling. They're coming back in June with their version of a Royal Rumble, which should be very cool. But a lot of good things on the horizon. WrestleMania in the books.
Keep tuning in. Keep liking and subscribing to our stuff if you like what you're seeing.
2025, 2026 is going to be happening. More things on the rise from Brood Opinions. We got a lot of plans coming forward. Potential updated logo, and some more involvement with PWR Wrestling. So we're looking forward to all that. And in the great words, KT, of Jackie Moon,
Yeah,
everybody love everybody. Peace.